You don't need to earn your worth. It's already within you, but you do need to recognize it. Knowing your worth is not about arrogance or entitlement. It's about standing firmly in your truth. It's the unshakable belief that you deserve to be treated with respect, love, and dignity, not because of what you do for others, but because of who you are. So many women are taught to give endlessly, to compromise until they're invisible, and to find pride in being selfless. But when you don't know your worth, you accept less. You tolerate behavior that doesn't align with your value. You shrink to fit into spaces never meant for you. You have to stop waiting for someone to validate your existence. Start affirming yourself every single day. You are not just someone's girlfriend, wife, daughter, or employee. You are a whole, complete human being with your own voice, dreams, and identity. When you know your worth, you become less reactive to disrespect. You stop chasing people and start attracting what matches your energy. It shows in the way you speak, in the way you carry yourself, in the way you say no without flinching. People treat you according to the standards you set. So when you walk into a room knowing you are enough, you command attention, not because you asked for it, but because your presence says it all. Knowing your worth is the foundation for everything. Your relationships, your career, your health, your future. It is not negotiable. The day you stop begging for a seat at the table and start building your own, that's the day the world starts taking notice. That's the day you stop being treated like an option and start being treated like a queen. Boundaries are not walls. They are bridges to healthier relationships. When you set boundaries, you're not pushing people away. You're teaching them how to respect you. It takes courage, yes, but more than anything, it takes self-respect. Because when you truly value yourself, you understand that not everything and everyone deserves access to your time, your energy, or your heart. Too often, women are conditioned to be agreeable, to avoid conflict, to keep the peace even at the cost of their own peace. But silence doesn't protect you, clarity does. The more clearly you define what is and isn't acceptable in your life, the more power you reclaim. Speaking up for yourself is not rude. Saying no is not selfish. You're not here to constantly explain or justify your standards. Boundaries are not up for debate. Whether it's your emotional well-being, your time, your personal space, or your values, once you set a line, you hold it. The truth is, the right people will respect your boundaries, the wrong ones will be offended by them. Let them. Their reaction is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to protect your peace, your energy, and your growth. Bold boundaries make bold women. You can be kind and still assert your limits. You can love someone and still say, that doesn't work for me. You are not difficult. You are discerning. You are not dramatic. You are direct. Every time you stand up for yourself, you reinforce your worth. And slowly, the world begins to understand how to treat you, not because you demanded it, but because you embodied it. Power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it speaks calmly, confidently, and without apology. This is my line. Respect it. There's something magnetic about a woman who walks into a room and doesn't need to say a word, but everyone turns to look. That's grace, and that's power. True elegance isn't about how you dress. Speak, it's about how you carry yourself when no one is clapping, when the odds are stacked against you, or when someone tries to dim your light. Grace is strength under control. It's choosing dignity over drama. It's knowing you could fight dirty, but deciding to rise above. It's not weakness. It's your strategy. Power, on the other hand, is your presence. It's the way you hold your head high even when you've been knocked down. It's the fire in your spirit balanced with the calm in your voice. Together, grace and power make you unstoppable. This combination isn't loud or boastful. It's subtle but commanding. It's the art of being soft without being stepped on, of being kind without being naive, of being open-hearted without being wide open to disrespect. You become a force, not by controlling others, but by mastering yourself. And let's be clear, carrying yourself this way isn't about perfection. It's about awareness. It's about choosing your battles, walking away when needed, and speaking up when it counts. It's about showing the world that your value doesn't fluctuate based on opinions, trends, or the approval of men. You don't have to shrink to be liked or bark to be heard. Grace without strength gets overlooked. Strength without grace can become aggression, but together, that's regal, that's magnetic, that's the kind of presence that makes people take notice, and makes the right ones treat you like the queen you already are. There's a quiet, powerful truth that every woman should understand. What is meant for you will never need to be chased. The moment you stop running after people's approval, attention, or love is the moment you begin to operate from a place of power, because real queens don't beg, they attract. Attraction isn't about physical beauty alone. It's energy. It's the confidence in your walk, the clarity in your words, and the peace in your presence. When you're grounded in who you are, people feel it. You draw in opportunities, relationships, and respect not by demanding them, but by embodying the value you bring. Chasing is exhausting. It puts you in a position of lack, of trying to prove your worth to someone else. And the truth is, when you chase, you often lower your standards just to be seen. But when you shift your focus inward, when you work on your mindset, your growth, your passions, you naturally become magnetic, not because you're trying to impress, but because you're living in alignment with your truth. Let them wonder, let them come to you. You're not here to convince anyone of your worth. You're here to know it so deeply that anyone who steps into your life must rise to meet your standards, or step aside. The energy you bring is what determines the energy you receive. It's not about arrogance, it's about self-respect. You're not being difficult by refusing to chase. You are being discerning. You know that the right people will recognize your worth without needing to be reminded. You're not here to run after anything. You're here to radiate, to elevate, and to allow what aligns with your light to find its way to you. Because queens don't chase, they reign. You are allowed to want more, more than love, more than validation, more than society tells you is enough. Ambition is not a flaw, it's your fire. It's the part of you that dreams bigger, pushes harder, and refuses to shrink to make others comfortable. You don't need to apologize for having goals, for being driven, or for chasing a vision that others can't yet see. Your independence is your strength. It's not a threat, it's a declaration. It says, I am whole with or without anyone else. That doesn't mean you don't want love, partnership, or connection. It simply means you don't rely on someone else to complete you. You complete yourself. There's something incredibly attractive about a woman who is focused on her own path, who has her own plans, her own passions, her own hustle. She doesn't wait for someone to rescue her. She builds her own ladder. She doesn't dim her light to fit into someone else's life. She creates a world so vibrant that others want to be part of it. Ambition doesn't mean being cold or detached. It means you honor your potential. You recognize that your dreams matter, that you are not here to play small, that your career, your goals, your financial freedom, and your personal growth are all part of the life you're building for you. The truth is, when you're ambitious and independent, you become a standard, not just a choice. You raise the bar. You attract people who don't feel threatened by your strength, but inspired by it, and that's how you begin to be treated, not as an option, not as someone to fix, but as a queen who's already ruling her world. Your femininity is not a weakness. It is not something to be tamed, toned down, or hidden to be taken seriously. It is your power in a world that often rewards hardness and aggression, choosing to embrace your softness, your beauty, your emotions, your intuition. That is rebellion, that is strength. Femininity isn't about fitting into someone else's idea of what a woman should be. It's about embracing every part of yourself, your elegance, your passion, your nurturing nature, your sensuality, with pride and ownership. It's about knowing that vulnerability doesn't make you fragile, it makes you fearless, that expressing emotion is not a liability, it's a superpower. You don't need to trade in your femininity to be respected. You can wear lipstick and lead, you can command a boardroom in heels, you can be graceful and still be fierce. True femininity doesn't ask permission, it walks into the room and owns it. This world often tells women they have to choose, strong or beautiful, assertive or kind, independent or loving. But the truth is, you don't have to choose. You are allowed to be all of it. You are the storm and the calm. You are the fire and the light. And when you stop apologizing for your femininity, you unlock a power that can't be duplicated. Men who are secure in themselves will never be intimidated by your feminine energy. They will be drawn to it, because a woman who celebrates her femininity radiates confidence. She knows who she is, and she refuses to dull her shine to fit into a dim room. So honor your essence, speak with warmth, move with grace, lead with strength. Let your femininity be the crown you wear, not something you hide, but something you rule with.